Hello and welcome to Introduction to Git. This is a part of the presentation series at the Center for High Performance Computing, or CHPC, at the University of Utah. My name is Robin Migach and I'm a scientific consultant at the CHPC. Today we'll be looking at the Git software, which is used from the command line. So if you're not familiar with the basics of navigating the Linux command line, really just changing directories, listing the contents of a directory, and using a text editor, we recommend going through our introductory Linux training sessions first. However, I will note that we won't be doing anything too complicated, so even if you're not very familiar with the Linux command line, you can probably still follow along just fine. You can use Git from any Linux resources at CHPC. However, if you don't have a CHPC account, please download Git so you can follow along. The instructions for this will depend on your operating system. If you're on Windows, you should download Git for Windows from your web browser. If you're on Mac OS, you can just run Git from the terminal application, which will prompt you to install it if you don't already have it. On Linux, if you're using CHPC resources, you can use the module system and module load Git. If you're running your own system, you can install Git either through apt on a Debian-based distribution or DNF on an enterprise Linux-like system. Or if you already have Git for some reason, you can git Git via Git, which is a bit of a chicken and egg problem that I thought was a little bit funny. So first of all, what is Git? Git is version control software. It helps you keep track of different versions of your files. So this is an example of what my directories used to look like before I started using Git. I would start editing a file and realize I wanted to keep the previous version in case I needed it, so I'd add something like _2, something that made sense at the time, but with hindsight, a few months down the road, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I'd have things like final, and then change that a bit, make it final in all caps. So if this looks at all familiar, you should definitely consider using Git to manage versions. Also, it can help you when you're working with other people, so this can help your whole team stay organized. So one thing that I want to clarify is that Git is not the same thing as GitHub. I see the two conflated often by new users. GitHub is a web platform on which you can share and work on Git repositories, but it's not the same thing. Git is the software and GitHub is the host. So even if you were expecting this presentation to be more about GitHub, don't close the window just yet because learning Git will help you understand GitHub. Git itself is open source software. It's not owned or maintained by GitHub. And as of fall 2024, its source code has more than 1,700 individual contributors. Who uses Git? Principally, it's used by software developers. In the Stack Overflow Developer Survey in 2021, more than 93% of respondents said they use Git. The other 7% should probably start using it. And interestingly, this is the last year that this question was asked on the Stack Overflow Developer Survey, probably because everyone's just using Git for version control, or mostly everyone. There are a few alternatives, but it's definitely the largest among software developers. However, Git isn't just for software developers. It can help you keep track of changes to any of your files, though it works best with plain text. That means if you open something in a text editor and you can kind of understand what's going on, it'll probably work well with Git. So as an example, it works well with LaTeX documents for your scientific writing projects.